Hello and welcome. So the Duck here. This is episode 9. We are into the hints and tips area of this game. Hopefully, I'll be able to help you achieve a little bit of a faster time. We've got ourselves quite a few to go through, so without further ado, let's see if I can help you get a little bit better at this game. And thanks for watching. First up then, we have got ourselves tip number 1, watching replays. I cannot tell you how important this is. It's really helped me. Go to the track you want to play better, click onto the leaderboard, scroll up to the top on global and have a little look at who you've got there. I will warn you that if there's times like you can see on the screen here, which are 10 seconds faster than everyone else's, they're probably not quite, they're not right. Click yourself into one of those that's showing a good time and have a watch of the video, have a watch of the clip. I haven't done this for the video here today, but I have watched it myself and it's given me this little tip, and this is a really good example. So when we come up here, what you're going to see is how I normally do this video. So we've got a start time of 52 seconds when I hit this lift. As soon as we start to go up, there's going to be 2 different ways of doing this, and I'm not going to spoil it, but trust me, the second way is a lot faster than the first. So that's how I've always played this map, end time of 59 seconds. Nothing unusual, but again, I didn't know this existed, so 6.5 seconds from the start of the lift to when I get to that flag and that display board. Second attempt then, after watching the video, we're at 47 seconds. When we go up this lift, there's a much better way of getting through this particular part of the map, and I didn't know this existed until watching the replay. So here we are, we bust through 2 little bits, get ourselves to the flag, and we finish at 52 seconds. So the big difference for you there is 4.5 seconds from start to finish, and that's 2 seconds faster. 2 seconds faster for doing that, and I didn't know that existed until I watched a replay. Now this one's a little bit different. I actually found this myself by mistake. So again, you'd normally go up, go around the loop, but you time you run properly, you can miss that loop out completely, absolutely completely. Now I was in the air for a long time, and you probably find yourself getting a little bit better of a time if you were to time that with a little flip, but it is quicker. Tip number 2, skipping small jumps. I use this all the time. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, and it will require you to practice quite a few times, but don't let that front wheel touch the small jump. Whatever you do, don't let it touch it. Try not to do loops like I am on the screen here, but there's a great example. Front wheel missed it, and we go straight over and straight down. Here's an in-game example, full power on all of the way. And he is beating us by quite some margin. We're at 8 seconds when we touch down on that ramp. I don't let the front wheel touch the first 2 jumps at all, go straight over the top, and I land there at 7 seconds. That's a second faster, guys and girls, than it was over 50 metres. Again, here on Beach Bum, you can see front wheel doesn't touch. I do put a little flip in there, but that's a lot quicker for you to complete that track. So biggest thing I can say to you is tip number 2 is don't let that front wheel touch very small jumps. Tip number 3 then, leaning backwards in loops. It's only a small tip, but I realised when I watched my wife play this game, she does not lean back at all, doesn't take advantage of that traction. So as you can see on the replay there, leaning back, power on, just before we go out of the hoop, I lean forwards. Really gets the speed up. Tip number 4, uphill landings. It's one of the training missions that you've got in the university, and I would suggest to you not to do it like I am, but I'm using this as a demonstration. Don't touch too much with your back wheel, don't touch too much with your front wheel. You almost want almost an equal amount of power when you land, equal amounts. The next biggest part of this tip here is to make sure that you can feather that accelerator. Okay, I can't easily get myself to say 20 or 30% throttle, so I find blipping it, as you can see here, blip, much easier. Again, as soon as I land, the accelerator is on, so the accelerator on now, just before I land, the power is on. It gyros the bike to land on that jump really nicely. Okay, And the second thing is I am leaning, unless I'm on the jump, I am leaning forwards. On that, I'm leaning forwards. Throttle, 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 throttle all the time. Okay, and again, I'm landing back wheel first, but only just marginally. Okay, wait until you get the stability, full power on, and you will get over all of those. So leaning, dabbing the throttle, making sure that your back wheel lands first. Tip number 5, uphill obstacles. As many of you will probably have seen by now, okay, this is going to be one of the later university attempts. Again, it's a little bit more difficult, but when you get into the harder tracks, which you'll see at the end of this video, it is crucial that you're able to get up these obstacles as fast as possible and with the fewest number of faults as possible. Again, here you can see on the screen, you know, making that look quite straightforward. That's one technique. Second technique is take it slowly. I've not slowed this video down. I'm getting myself into a position where I'm leaning forwards and I'm just applying sort of 25-30% profit of the throttle, just giving myself a little bit of boost as I go up. Now that's really straightforward, you know, that shouldn't be anything technical. It's when you start to get to these harder sections where you don't just have a gentle slope, you've got yourself a little bit of vertical. And one of my biggest things I can say to you guys and girls is don't ever give up. Don't stop trying. You know, if you can get that bike to land back perfectly, as I am here, then what you'll find yourself is you're getting fewer and fewer and fewer faults, and that's making you quicker as you go through it. So again, I've saved that attempt, not managed to make that work. Again, I've saved it there. I'm thinking about saving it. What I do when I'm doing this is I will lean a little bit back just as I'm going up the jump, just as I'm going up the incline, to make sure that I can actually get a bounce out of that bike. Got to get the bounce. A little bit of lean back, but then immediately up on the forward. Lean back, up on the forward. Again, you can see how when I'm actually pushing that back wheel right into that jump, I'm getting the actual boost off it. Again, you can see there, and I've managed to land it. So again, what you need is that little bit of boost at the very start, and then leaning forwards. As soon as you leave the jump, you're leaning forwards, and you're going to start to flip it over, and that's going to really help getting over those really big obstacles, especially in the harder tracks. Tip number 6, large hops. Again, he does this, I say he, you know, Professor Fat, he does this in a very different way. So here, I actually take this a much slower approach, much slower approach, and this is kind of typical of how I'd actually play the game. Albeit this is the training, you'll see this in the video at the end. I do it much slower. So the technique that I found what really works for me is to slow up to the jump, lean forwards, lean backwards, and as soon as I've leant backwards and I've loaded that rear spring like that, I accelerate. So back, accelerate, and that gives you a jump. Obviously there is just for demonstration, but what I would do here is I lean forward, back, as soon as I get back I accelerate. Again, if you're not happy with it like that, just back yourself up and give it another go. But here we go, so I'll lean forwards, take the power off the back, lean backwards, full power on, and then lean forwards. And it's the leaning forward that gets you to kind of do that bunny hop. And that's what's really crucial. So you lean forward, take the weight off the rear wheel, lean yourself straight back, get that bar up to max, and then lean yourself forward with the power. So forward, back, power on, lean forward to get the bike to go up, and you are going to get yourself up all of those obstacles as you go along. Now here we are then in another real world example. So this is one of the later hard tracks that I've got. Again, lots of uphill climbing to do. Back wheel first, then your front wheel, almost instantaneous. Feather that accelerator and you will get there. Now again, techniques don't always work. You know, here you can see, you know, it's a little bit messy, a little bit scrappy, but back wheel landing. Always try and keep that back wheel where it needs to be. Just off there, back then front, and we've got ourselves a perfect landing. So you need to master these techniques to start being able to complete some of the harder tracks, and we're not even into the extreme stuff yet. Again, prime example there. Keep trying. That's the 3rd attempt there I have had to get over that actual obstacle. You know, I haven't had any faults in doing that. I've just had 3 tries. I've managed to keep that bike where it needs to be. Always try and land with that back wheel first. And even, you know, even just the minor little jumps, always try and just drop that back wheel down. You know, keep the accelerator going. Again, front wheel landed first then. Wasn't pretty. Got the back wheel down on that one first, and we could have made that quite easily. So just keep going at it. You know, again, back wheel first. Nearly made it. Not far off from this one, and we make it. Back wheel first. You have to start getting used to, guys and girls, not putting that front wheel down unless it absolutely has to. You always want that back wheel to be on the ground first to give you that traction and to give you that bounce that you need to get yourself out and into goal position. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's taken me quite some time to put together, but I have really enjoyed sort of showing you some of the little techniques that I use to give you these videos to make myself faster and to really start to enjoy the game. So if you have enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, give me a like rating. You know where to subscribe. Please leave me a comment down below, and I will see you all in the next video.